All right, good morning, San Francisco. How are you guys doing today? Woo! Wow, it's a full house. Wow, this is a great room, very long. So my name is Nick Nee. I run the AI product management team at AMD. So if you don't mind, I want to start with a very softball question. How many of you have touched or experienced some kind of form of stable diffusion in the last few years? Well, look at that, Prem. I mean, this is a living proof, right? Stable diffusion has been so widely adopted. And did you know 80%, right? More than 80% of the image generated online was by stable diffusion in 2023. Right? That's just amazing. 150 million downloads happened on the Hugging Face, and today it still holds the lifetime most likes on the Hugging Face. I mean, that just deserves a big applause. All right, and AMD has been a super close collaborator with Stability, and we actually even launched the Stable Diffusion 3 together at the Computex in May this year. And today I'm extremely honored to have Prem on the stage. And let me just give a quick bio of Prem. It's super impressive before he started introducing himself. So Prem led investor group, including Sean Parker, Eric Schmidt, into the company in June 2024, and he joined as a CEO, and Sean Parker joined as executive chairman. Prior to Stability, Prem most recently served as CEO of Weta Digital. And Weta Digital is a multi-billion-dollar, multinational Academy Award-winning film production and visual effects company. And Weta Digital is behind 80-plus major studio films, which have generated over $22 billion in global box office, and including many of the names I'm sure you heard of: Black Panther, Avenger Endgame, Lord of the Rings, The Batman, The Hobbit, Avatar, and Avatar: The Way of Water. And during his tenure at Weta Digital, Prem founded the first stage-to-screen cloud-based film production pipeline, making high-end film production accessible to all creators. The service scaled very quickly and eventually sold in December 2021 to Unity for over $1.6 billion. The sale marked one of the highest returns in film history. Ladies and gentlemen, Prem Akkaraju.
Oh, wow. Thank you. You definitely have to do all my intros. I have a lunch meeting after this. You're going to have to come.
Awesome.
Really, yeah, thank you.
So yeah, we really want to keep this casual fireside chat.
Yeah.
And I guess the first question, I'm sure you guys are involved, wondering is Stable Diffusion has been such a big hit in the developer community, and now we have the new CEO, Prem, with such a rich background in the Hollywood and movie industry. What don't you tell us about a little bit about your vision of the company and how that's related to your experience?
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. What's interesting is I spent all my time working on technologies for creatives to tell their story. Mm-hmm. And in the pre-AI world, that was all a software CPU-based pipeline, and we spent a tremendous amount of time and money and maximizing and optimizing those workflows. And then all of a sudden, we live in this world, in a post-generative AI world, where all those workflows are going to go from a software, a CPU-based pipeline into a generative AI GPU pipeline. Like that transition, the AI to CGI transition, is no longer a debate amongst intelligent people. There's no doubt about it. And so, what we're going to be striving to do at Stability is very much what I had done in the past at Weta, which is bring these tools to life to where we can really bring creative vision into the world, into life. I believe the world's a better place with creators in it and creative people, and that's what we're going to do. It's interesting. I've had the honor and the privilege to work with some of the biggest directors in history, and getting to know them, you realize they have an infinite number of creative ideas. Absolutely infinite. It could be, you could have 1,000 years of dinners with them, and they're going to have a new story to tell you. What they don't have infinite is that 1,000 years. They don't have infinite time, and they don't have infinite money. So what our goal is to reduce, if not eliminate, the issues with the current let's call it professional production pipeline, which is eliminating three key things, which is time, money, and non-creative workflows in the creative process.
That's wonderful. Now let's talk about the Stable Diffusion 3 a little bit. With the Stable Diffusion 1.5, XL, community really adopted it big time, and it was much anticipated, for you guys to announce the Stable Diffusion 3, and it just took off, right? I think as soon as it came on the stage, it became a #1 downloaded model at the Hugging Face, and people just start building some super cool stuff. First, why don't you tell us about some innovation behind the Stable Diffusion 3 and maybe even show some cool stuff?
Sure. So maybe actually that is, picture's worth 1,000 words, so maybe they can turn this thing on.
Yeah.
It stops there. Oh yeah, there we go. I had to show you this because some of the innovations that we've done is just absolutely extraordinary, especially if you look at, previous models. This ballerina, she looks like, okay, so there I can see it right there. She looks like she's right out of the cover of Vogue or a Vogue photo shoot. And so this is a significant advancement in the actual aesthetic and composition of the photos to make it actually look that professional quality mix. You look at here, you look at the previous models, it looks like a 2-year-old toy, and then you look at the new models, it literally looks like, we're talking about the movie business, that could easily be a still shot from any animated movie that we've seen, which is extraordinary. And you look at that, really even from, you mentioned our 3.0 model, it instantly went #1 on Hugging Face, you're absolutely right. We've got 3.5, this is something that no one's ever seen before because this is a pre-released model of 3.5 large, and you can see when the autonomy in particular has been even enhanced, and even looking at the middle, the girl with the wine glass, obviously her hands are so difficult, as you know. It's such a small part of the picture typically, and you don't really get great data, but here you're seeing the image quality and noise has been greatly improved in that new model. So here's a little video that we put together that you can actually see our editing tools, because no creative really wants to actually type into something and have some rigid outcome. So you have to have the steerability or editability within the content. So these are very powerful techniques, particularly in painting, upscaling, and segmentation. And not only can you perform these edit tools essentially instantaneously on generative images, you can actually use real photography and make these changes. Let's take a look.
Very cinematic. Upscale it. All right. Switch out the rock. Change the color. Let's try something else. Okay, maybe a woman or a bear, an astronaut. How about an alien structure? Oh, right, a rocket. Looks good, but we need more detail. That's it. Nice.
I still can't even believe this. Thank you. It's
amazing.
That'd be like a year of my life in traditional visual effects, and now it's instantaneously. It's absolutely, I think we've crossed over the line where technology is now truly magic. So this is an example, another video of our search and replace, and this is using SDXL workflow with control net and segmentation model on top. There's a search token that finds the object, and then you have a replacement prompt to actually instantaneously change just that one part of the image, and keeping consistency throughout the remaining of the shot. So let's take a look. Instantly turn that to a jacket, those buildings into mountains, the ocean into a meadow, turning the sand into gravel. Instantly crowd, and obviously this integrates with our video model as well. It's incredible. It's just like, I can see it.
Incredible.
again, years of my life have come back in an instant. So I wanted to actually share with you some of the things that the community has actually created. So, as you know, we're an open source model. So stability, we release every single model that we have, the open source model, as well as the weights, into the community. And if you use it for non-commercial work, you get it for free forever. If you use it for commercial purposes, we charge you a license fee. We have many, big corporations that do that. Part of the thing that I love the most is actually creating artists who didn't know they were artists before. And that really comes from the community and supplying them with these tools. This is an image that came from the community. This Dragon Knight, I mean, it looks right out of a Dungeons and Dragons movie. If you had one. This is another one that was one of my favorites. It's, by the way, making me hungry right now. Looking at this image.
Delicious. Oh.
It looks delicious, right? And what I love about this is that you can combine this like a massive clash between this hyper fantasy world where this queen comes from, Night Queen, and then having like the hyper real of like a cheeseburger in her hand. Really show you the diversity of the model. This looks like it's out of an athleisure suit catalog, and it shows also we have pipelines that we're building for marketing and advertising, where you'll be able to do any shoot anywhere with any type of model and any type of fit and any type of color, essentially instantaneously. So really be able to like target market those types of. This might be my favorite because it's so cute. So it's and again, this is like the other ones were a year off my life. This is like 2 years from previous, because fur, as people who've worked in visual effects before, it's super hard, especially fur with that type of lighting. As also strings are really super hard. So that blanket's made out of a collection of strings. Just to see the photorealism from the fur and the strings is just absolutely astounding. I mean, maybe for Barbie 2, the second movie.
Was it one of the scenes?
Yeah, exactly. You're right out. Talk about movies again, and then look at the detail of the hands again for this cute little guy, and not only that, the reflection of the reflection in the sunglasses in that level of detail at that sort of minute level is super, super, super cool. So this was sent to me last night. Thanks for getting it in, last minute, because I thought it was way too cool. So we used a stable diffusion model to create that Dungeons and Dragons type of emblem. It then went imported to a 3D model, because we're one of the only companies with truly 2D, 3D, and image models, and then went straight from a 2D model to a 3D model into a 3D printer, and then printed it out in real life. And wow. This was such a cool, when you think about design, and I know this is early stages, this still looks amazing, but this is really a sample of the promise of what's to come. Not necessarily exactly what you're doing today, but the fact that we could do this. And then I thought about those types of things with miniature models like this, where you'll be able to do the same exact workflow, take it into it from 2D to seamlessly into our 3D model, and then instantly be able to output that into a high quality 3D printer.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, isn't this amazing, guys? Wow. I think one thing that struck me so hard, like what you said, is like everybody has a creativity.
That's right.
And even for the super top-notch creators, I mean, you just never have enough time and resource, right, to explore every aspects out there. And this will just enable you, right, to do so many more iterations, try different ideas. It's just such an amazing thing. And we can basically takes our creativity to the next level, whether you're professionals or novice creators. Yeah,
definitely.
Now, having said all these cool stuff, let me ask you a little bit tougher question.
Okay. He's going off script. So let's see how I do.
So this is so photorealistic, so amazing, and of course comes with different concerns, different risks, right? I'm sure there's a deep fake, there's a copyrights, there are different concerns out there. What is Stability doing to kind of protect the creator community?
So good question and tough question. You're absolutely right. So so one of the reasons that we have so many multi-billion-dollar enterprise license deals is that our safety and integrity department is extremely experienced and has been there from the beginning, and we've grown that group in a very important part of our ecosystem. So first and foremost is the data sets themselves, to make sure that we have the safest data set humanly possible to assemble. We take great care in that. The second step, of course, is then allowing filters on top of that, and we do have safety filters that eliminate many of the celebrities and political figures out from any type of inference. So we take that extremely, extremely seriously.
That's great. That's super important.
Yeah, it really is. So since you've been asking me a lot of questions. I know. He asked me tough questions. I should ask him some tough questions, don't you think? So yeah, exactly. So maybe you could tell us, we've been using AMD products, and Stable Diffusion runs seamlessly across all your hardware, which is amazing. What's the bigger AI, strategy for AMD?
Thanks for asking, Tough, and a really good question. So AMD, I think many of you probably heard through PCs, laptops, maybe gaming, GPUs. I know we're in the Xbox and PlayStations. But now, if you see our executives and our CEO Lisa Su talk, it's all about AI. And we've been investing very significantly for almost a decade, right, on AI. And we have a very unique strategy because we have everything from cloud that runs like all the biggest, baddest models and AI training to embedded, right, which touches our life a lot, like automotive, like healthcare, which also requires a lot of AIs, and all the way to something that's so close to you, like your PC and mobile phones. So these are things where we're injecting AI into everything. Now, one thing we realize is there's no one size fits all, right? You cannot just have a same chip hardware architecture that goes into GPT-4 and same as going to your autonomous car and then goes into your PC. I mean, they're very different requirements. Just to give you an example, on the cloud side, you're hearing a lot of buzz these days, right? Like, there's of course NVIDIA Hopper, there's AMD MI300s. We're talking petaops of compute. That's just massive per GPU, and using the latest HBMs, like we have like 200 gigabytes of HBMs, and those are super flagship, and those have to be connected with multiple GPUs and through network just to do like AI training. So that's a super high-end system. Whereas automotive, for example, AI is super important for your perception, your environments, but you also have to, hit the brake in real time, right? You have the determinism, you have to process sensors, lidars, radars at the same time. So it's the end-to-end latency that matters. So your architecture needs to have AI, but also have real-time response on all these parts. And now if you go all the way to AI PC, which is getting a lot of tractions, right? It's about AI, but also about CPU and GPUs, because when you guys use your laptops, right, you still need to run all sorts of Windows or Mac applications. You need a general CPUs fast enough for your productivity, and you still have to power like multiple displays, and maybe some of your gamers, you need to play a game on your laptops. So those two are super important. And then you assign AI so that you can run on the background to enable your AI in the background. So that needs to be low power. So you have to kind of optimize for all those three. So hopefully you see that you can't just optimize AI device, AI chip, right, for these use cases, and you have to really optimize it. So that's our strategy. We have 3 different architectures, right, that goes into all these 3. And we have Microsoft using it for GPT-4 on the cloud. We have Subaru, right, using us for the front cameras, saving millions of lives every day. And then, for AI PC, we've launched a Copilot Plus PC with Microsoft. So, it's been a pretty big important to kind of spread this architecture to different domains of deployments.
Okay, that was a good answer. That was a very good answer. I thought I had him. It was a very good answer, and that's awesome. I'm sure I love hearing that. Certainly as being CEO of Stability. So, but there is a layer deeper. So I'm going to actually ask you. So I think I'm going to get you on this one. So, because just like your competitor, who will be unsaid, unnamed, something out there, it really comes to get it on the rails and to actually have it usable. You need software and an ecosystem, right? And I think that everybody's thinking that. I'm certainly thinking that when I was talking about it. So what are you guys doing about that?
Yeah. And that's a really good question, tough question. And assuming
I got them now.
and assuming a lot of you, AI developers as well, right? I mean, software is really what
Everything.
makes and
Otherwise,
breaks, right?
you can't do anything. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we've kind of proven enough our hardware is decent, but our software definitely needs investments. And in fact, this has been a corporate-wide strategy. From Lisa Su level, we've actually reorganized our company, right? So we have a group called AI Group now, full of software engineers, which is kind of rare, right? And as a semiconductor company, we have thousands of people who are just pure AI and software developers, really trying to make our software good so that people like you can easily take, say, latest stable diffusion models, latest llama models, anything that pops up every day on the Hugging Face, just run it. And we've actually achieved that through partnership with Hugging Face, right? So we announced this a year ago, and today we're proud to say we have almost 1 million models on the Hugging Face that runs out of box. We have CI/CD, which means nightly, Hugging Face is testing for us, like every night, all these models, and it ensures that the developer like you can go to Hugging Face and just work outside the box. Another thing I want to mention is we're extremely open source, right? Different from some of our competitions may have a lot of closed source software. We can build our tools complete from source. Like everything's on the GitHub. You can literally just build it from source. So there's nothing to hide because we want to enable innovation from people like you. So that's another key strategy. So we can get the innovation from the community and then really catch up fast.
That's smart. That's great.
Awesome.
That is great to hear that you're looking to open source as a model, as a solution for that.
Yeah.
Very, very smart.
Okay. So I think this has been such a fun conversation, but my timer shows that I'm kind of over time. So I guess I probably should wrap it up. And so Prem, do you have any words to wrap it up, or anything you want to tell the audience?
You did have a mic drop type moment there. That was pretty good. But I will say one thing. So a lot of the images that you saw there from our 3.5 model, which is unreleased. So it's our 3.5 8B, so it's an 8 billion parameter model. That model is, so I'll be able to tell you, right? Not the exact date, but we're days or a couple weeks away from actually releasing that model to the public. And we're going to be releasing the model and the weights in open source. So that probably is like a couple, you can pin me down to a couple weeks, not months, for that model to be released.
That's super exciting. All right, thank you so much, Prem.
Awesome.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Thank you.
Prem, thank you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Nick. Thank you.
Okay.